Hi, friend. If you're a parent and you don't already have a ready-made first aid kit that you can grab and go whenever you need it, let me show you how I upgraded mine and specialized it for my family for an upcoming trip. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, my name is Candice Dormon. I'm a wife, mom, and entrepreneur, and sometimes I like to share lifetime hacks and tips to help you manage your day. So this is actually a cord organizer that we bought from our boys. Each of them got one, and when I tell you that neither of them used it, 100% neither of them used it. So they've been knocking around, and when I was looking for something to pack for our trip, I found it and thought it would make a good first aid kit. So ignore the little symbol for cords, and it's now our first aid kit. All right, so here's an overview. These are some of the things that I always find myself reaching for, not all the time, but when you need them, it's so important to have them on hand. So why not just why not just get it? And what happens is every time I need a specialty item like that, when I'm out and I didn't have it, then I make sure to add it into our first aid kit. So let's do a quick run through. There is nothing, otherworldly here. It's not like a super fancy big deal, but when you need these things in a pinch, it's really good to have them. So again, you can see that this was originally intended to be a cord organizer, but it works really well to put all of our first aid items out on display so that we can see it, and I'm not digging inside of a cosmetic bag in the dark trying to find what I need. All right, so one of the things that I always like to have with us are all of our medicines. In here, I like to carry the pill form because they're just easier to deal with. This is children's allergy medicine. I have a preference for loratadine. This is Benadryl. We always need, one of my sons has a allergy to animals. And so whenever we're at people's homes who have pets, it's good for us to have our own allergy medicine. This is some Pepto-Bismol. We also have some kids Tylenol. Here is some anti-diarrhea medicine, which is great for trips, especially when you're going away to places you haven't been before. And then this is something that we bought on a recent trip to Colombia. We were traveling on some back road and in a big bus, and everybody was getting so nauseous. So I have effectively some Dramamine, anti-nausea medicine, and I just added it to my bag so that I would have it the next time. We wouldn't have to be running and searching for it. And then always, it's good to have a nail clipper. You never know why you will need that. The last thing that I keep in here is this is a lip balm from the Echo Body line. This is my skincare line. But what I do is when I am done using it, I'm actually storing some typical Vaseline in here, which is really good to keep in your first aid kit. It's good for covering, burns, scrapes, that kind of thing. And in this flat jar, it just works really well in my first aid kit. So that's why I have that there. I keep the actual Echo Body lip balm is actually lives in my purse so that I always have that, but it's really nice to reuse jars when you can. So that's our medicine, specialty medicine area. This is some Advil pain med. I actually mix some Advil and some Aleve in there for preference. In here, sometimes I surprise myself with some little genius. These are really great things to have. Either you can use the Q-tips as intended, or you can use them to put medicine on the antibiotic cream or the Vaseline in case of scrapes and bruises. So that one was I would say just a random thought, and it's working really perfectly. So this is Neosporin. I don't go anywhere without Neosporin. We always have them all around. This is an anti-itch cream. We've used a lot of it. It could use a refill, but in the meantime, it's working really well here. And this would work for mosquito bites or any kind of allergy, topical skin irritation. A nice cortisone cream is going to work really well. A couple times out on the road, one of my sons had a toothache and it nearly it nearly ended our whole trip. So now I keep the Orajel right here in our bag. And then I like to have a marker, a permanent marker. Typically I have a pen as well. I'll just grab one now and stick it in there. So it's good to have a pen and a marker. I'll show you where I keep some notepads that just sometimes it comes up. If you have a rash, you want to uh, circle, outline the rash and so you can keep an eye on it. If just lots of reasons why you need a nice marker and pen on hand in your first aid kit. So I have them there. Then on this side, we have some specialty items. One of my son has asthma, so I like to keep one of his asthma pumps here. I'm also keeping some hand sanitizer. Has anyone noticed how little hand sanitizer we use now after the pandemic? But it's good to have it on hand anyway. This here, I'm using, this was a Advil container, but I'm using it to store my allergy medicine. I'll look for, I'll try and label that better next time. But in the meantime, these are my allergy meds that I like to take daily, which is actually loratadine. Works pretty well for me this season. Then we have some eye drops for itchy eyes and a thermometer. When you have kids, it's good to have, I mean, for anyone, it's good to have a thermometer, but definitely when you have kids. And a package that I had actually came with these thermometer covers. So I'm packing them because I have them. They're not required, especially if you just have your kids. But on the off chance that you have multiple kids and you don't want to cross contaminate them, it's good to use they're called probe savers. So they're just little plastic single use sleeves. So I have that. Then for good measure, I carry some wet ones, and then scissors, a little tiny scissors. You'll always find scissors in your first aid kit, so I figured it was a good thing to have. I then have several different sizes of Band-Aids. These are also, these are Band-Aid, I think they're used as Band-Aid stitches. So on the off chance that we get a big cut, I have some options for that, as well as large Band-Aids, a pack of gauze, and I think I have 2 packs of gauze. And then these are the note cards I was talking about. If you're on the road, like on a trip, and your kid has a fever and you're trying to track medicine, obviously you can do it on your phone, but it's also nice to have backup. So I just like to have a little bit of paper so that you can track, what happened, when it happened, what time you gave them medicine, and so on and so forth. Also, whenever I get freebies out in the world, those are the things I pack into my first aid kit so that I know I have them. This was some sunscreen. Can't hurt to have a couple little packs of that. So I just tossed that in here. And then also here, the event we went to, they had a lip balm. So it's not my preferred lip balm, but I'm happy to keep it in the first aid kit so that we definitely have it when we need it. And then I just love that all of the zipper compartments keeps everything little from rolling around. I like seeing everything out in plain sight so that I know exactly what I have and if anything is missing. And then I folded this so that it would stay. So nothing's gonna fall out when I open it. And then this bag, because it was meant for chargers, it has a little bit of additional space. So things have enough space to zip up nicely and still be, kind of flat, but have enough room to give for these awkward sized items. So anyway, I thought I would share this with you. Let me know if you have a first aid, like a personalized first aid kit like this, or if you have a typical, ready-made store-bought one, and what are some of the additional items you add to your first aid kit to make sure that your family has everything you need when you're on the road. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or any suggestions. Again, you can always find nice fancy bags like this that are specifically for first aid, but if you have something on hand that's being underutilized, this works well. I will see you in the next one, all right? Bye.